is going on, kaiju viewers of the internet? It is I, Tom, of Kaijutopia. I have returned with an astounding VFX breakdown slash upcoming little project that I thought would be fun. So, how's everyone doing? I'm sure everyone is ecstatic. I mean, come on, Godzilla fans. What a time to be a Godzilla fan. That's the saying. We're like now within less than a month, in fact, away from Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire. The Monsterverse continues to grow and evolve, so that's all kinds of good. I like the best part of all is that it comes out on March 29th, which happens to be my birthday. I know. It's like, Tom, aren't you supposed to receive gifts on your birthday? Yet here you are, giving gifts to everyone on your birthday. And it's just, you know what? I do things out of the kindness of my heart. Alright. Oh, Cowman Animates, Hype, Jacobs and Studios, double hype. Thank you. I know, there's so much hype here, right? It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good little stream. I have to confess. That's right. I'm gonna make a quick little confession. That's how all streams should start, if you ask me. I've already done a lot of work on this project. I've been doing this throughout the day, and yeah, earlier I did a lot of stop motion on my green screen, and then you can't see it, but it's over there. Not just for this project, but for a couple others on the horizon. So it's been a pretty busy day, and usually I try to pace myself, you know, stop motion, a couple hours on this day, do some VFX the next day, and just take your time, because it could be a lot. But I thought, nah, I'm hungry, I'm ready, let's get into it. So here's the sitch. Next Sunday, it's the Oscars. And normally it's kind of like I might watch it, might not. I'm a big fan of movies, so I usually do, but I don't like honestly pay attention throughout. But there's a very special movie that has been nominated for Best Visual Effects. And this special movie is, as I'm sure every Godzilla fan knows by now, is Godzilla -1, which having seen it multiple times, I can confidently say is the greatest Godzilla film ever made. You know, currently. I should have added currently somewhere in there. I think it is currently one of the greatest Godzilla films ever made. I've done multiple videos, streams, just expressing about how much I love this movie. It is a game changer. I think it's changed Godzilla and the kaiju genre. It's changed everything. And the fact that we have a Godzilla film that's being nominated for an Academy Award is pretty impressive. Not to mention like a Japanese film being nominated for anything other than, you know, best foreign film. It's just, this changes so much, and I don't think people realize that, because a lot of people then typically move towards, well, I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture. I agree. Godzilla -1, in my opinion, was also the best movie of 2023. Some of you might be like, but Tom, you're biased, aren't you? I mean, being a big old Godzilla fan and all. And I would just simply go, it's not biased if you're educated, you know? I'm deeply, 100% educated on this matter. But, you know, what can I say? Oh, Tyrannosaurus Rex, good to see you. I'm glad you agree. Yeah, so I think this is a big game changer, because even though, yeah, sure, it wasn't nominated for, you know, Best Picture or anything, Takashi Yamazaki didn't receive like a credit nomination for Best Director, but I feel like this sort of thing, it's baby steps. You gotta understand, the Academy, the Hollywood elite, they're old-fashioned. They're well behind. I expect eventually, we're talking about people who don't think like some of the best animated films ever made should be our best picture material. Like Wall-E, Toy Story 3, we could go into other Pixar films. I could talk about some of Miyazaki films like Spirited Away. I feel like these movies are true films. But you got people in the Hollywood circle, the Academy judges and such, who believe that these sort of movies are, just made for kids. They're not serious motion picture. Anyway, I'm rambling, but the good news is we now finally have our foot in the door. This is actually going to change things in a way that I don't think we ever really could have imagined. I mean, we've seen other Godzilla films in the past 10 years with extremely great visual effects. And I off the top of my head, I don't know if, like, say, Godzilla 2014 was nominated for Best Visual Effects for the Academy Award. I believe it was nominated for Best Sound Effects, if I'm not mistaken, which, again, that's great. These sort of nominations, like, it kind of illustrates my point, sets the groundwork. It begins to slowly change things. But it's just remarkable. People don't realize what a big deal this is. Godzilla, Tyrannosaurus, you read my mind. I love the fact that Godzilla used to be mocked as just a dumb monster with mindless films, only to have -1 absolutely crush Hollywood. Absolutely, yes, exactly. And to be fair, I never, as a long time Godzilla fan, ever appreciated the mockery, appreciated having the Godzilla films that I love and admire get like just stomped on and just treated like crap and stuff. It looks fake, I would hear all the time. And sure, okay, those films, I'm not saying they ever should have been nominated for an Oscar or anything, but never mind the fact that as a filmmaker, I understand that it's extremely difficult to make movies. It's not an easy thing to do, or at least quality movies at that. And a lot of hard work went into I'm confident to say every Godzilla film ever made, you had a team of extraordinary artists come together and make something that, it would take an ensemble of talented people to create. But yes, we've heard this for years, and now here it is, a Godzilla film produced by Toho, no less, a Japanese company, Japanese filmmakers, a team of Japanese visual effects artists, and pioneering a Godzilla film, a franchise that has long been just ostracized, treated like it was just beneath. I mean, Godzilla's just a B-movie character, not true cinema. I mean, never mind the masterpiece of the original 1954 classic and the absolute, just the changes that film made. Like, the original Gojira film opened, it became a gateway between, for American audiences here in the West towards just foreign cinema altogether. I'm not saying Gojira single-handedly was responsible for that, but it most certainly played a huge, crucial part. So I think Godzilla -1, just like Gojira did before, has changed everything. And I know, it's been several minutes now since I started talking about this. I thought I would make a fun little Godzilla, versus Hollywood kind of stop motion tribute. Whether it wins or loses, whether the movie wins or wins an Oscar or not, I think this is great, and I'm just here to show my appreciation. There are a lot of effects that I've done, but here's what we got. Here's what we have so far. So we're in Hollywood, and we got Godzilla here, and I want you to watch closely what I do with the spines. Oh geez, that's a bit too much. Here we go. While watching Godzilla -1, I obviously took notes. I'm not kidding when I say that. I took a lot of notes. And here's me doing some homework and applying that. So you can see Godzilla's spines actually pop out, right? And then he turns and fires his atomic blast. And there are other effects here where you can see the entire area going up in flames, mushroom cloud. And here's the thing. And it's going to be hard to show you this because there are other effects happening. But I do have a giant Oscar right here. And that's absolutely Godzilla's target. Another shot of all these his spikes beginning to come up. And yeah, there are other effects that I've added with, them glowing individually. I still have other things to work out. This won't be the last time I do Godzilla -1 for anything stop motion related. So I'll be thinking more and more how to, improve here. But this is what I have so far. And then Godzilla, his spines come down, and he blasts the Oscar, and things just froze a bit. And the reason why is because the giant Oscar statue is melting. And I've thought about adding more and more effects here, but I'm worried I'm gonna destroy my computer or burn out the graphics card. I mean, there's a lot of serious stuff going on, and this is just quarter resolution right now. This isn't anything, to write home about, but here we are. And yeah, so I'm just gonna stop there. We could try and skip ahead. Maybe it'll load and show you kind of like what's happening to the giant Oscar statue. But in the meantime, Godzilla would like a word. He's coming up now. There he is. Yeah, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Longtime viewers are also so much made of win. I love you all. You're amazing. Let's see. Speeve said they better have good characters like in -1 for Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. It would definitely be preferable. I think the Monsterverse has already demonstrated time and time again that it can and has delivered on great human characters. I don't know if they'll ever be up there with Godzilla -1's iconic cast. Those characters are just one of a kind. What can I say? I did enjoy the human cast from the recent Apple show, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I thought they were excellent, in fact. And if we interrupt this Tomolog to show you Oscar slowly melting down, so that's nice. I added an Oscar glow too here, so he's actually melting along with it. But man, lots of effects. Things are gonna get a bit hard here. But anyway, yeah, it would be nice. I think Godzilla X Kong can indeed, I think it's gonna surprise us, really. I mean, I know a lot of people have a rough time sometimes when, trying to... The Monsterverse movies can be either pretty serious in tone, or just downright pure entertainment fun, or maybe sometimes both. And you know, that might not always be someone's interest, that might not appeal to everybody, but there's a place for it. And I think it's been aptly demonstrated that the Monsterverse is not only thriving, I think, for that reason, for the fact that it knows that, you know, the monsters themselves are characters. So even if your human characters are lackluster, and I don't think they are, and I hope they're not in the new Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, but if the monsters themselves are compelling and are treated with respect, then I think it just stands to reason that the humans in turn are treated respectfully as well, and they hopefully they're good. Let's see what we got. Okay, so the Oscar guy is just melting down. There's a lot of other stuff here, but I think right now what I really want to do is see when Godzilla -1 fires his atomic breath. It not only is truly volatile, it's like one of the most powerful live action Godzilla atomic beams out there. You can make the case that it's like #1. I know there have been reputable calculations done to suggest that, I mean, this thing is like more than just Hiroshima level of explosiveness. It's like half a megaton is what some of the calculations, high-end calculations I've read. So it's an extremely powerful beam, even by Godzilla standards. But you know, I'm not gonna like make everything be turned into a crater in this little short, even though that's exactly what would happen at this range. He's literally shooting just several hundred feet in front of him, so yeah, this whole area would be gone. The Hollywood sign would be gone. But that's not what we're going to do. So what I want to do for this, however, is show that Godzilla himself is weathering damage. See, when Godzilla -1 fires his atomic breath, he actually begins to burn. In fact, his own heat ray hurts him severely. It not only taxes his energy, it just, I think, it further makes him, I think it hurts him. It leaves damage, that irreparable damage. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it can't actually. Godzilla's regeneration in this movie, while very impressive, I mean, the guy can regenerate half his face and eye within seconds. But I think his regeneration either is imperfect, obviously, or it still can't fight the extreme radiation levels. Like, if you were to take a microscope and look at Godzilla -1 cellular structure, I'm just saying, there's like a literal war going on constantly. Like, Godzilla cells are constantly fighting, you know, radiation sickness and poison, constantly being heavily damaged. And you could tell just by looking at Godzilla -1's design, especially in contrast to his first form at the beginning of the movie. You know, it's a Godzillasaurus for all intents and purposes. I don't know its official name. That's just what I'm going to call it. Who looks quite elegant. He doesn't seem to have any scarring damage. But -1 looks like a complete and utter wreck. Like, his body is constantly falling apart and regenerating at the same time. But let me take a look at some effects I got here. I'm gonna like see what I can do. That's interesting. I have a massive like library of VFX assets that I've collected over many years of doing VFX stuff, so it takes time for me to go through everything to my liking. Sometimes I have time to do some homework and prepare in advance. Other times I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna take our time with this one. I've already done a lot of these effects. I might as well just take my time here so everyone can see how the process works. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's cool. All right, I might bring these in just a second. A couple of you have questions. Coop said, if minus Goji and Shin Goji were the same height, who do you think would win the fight? See, this might sound controversial, but even if the heights weren't the same, even if you took -1 Goji, who's like, I believe 51 meters tall, just barely taller than the first Godzilla, against the hulking Shin Godzilla, who's like, what, 115, 16 meters tall? I mean, it's between... rock, paper, scissors here. He's like almost as big as Monsterverse Godzilla. He's bigger than Godzilla was in 2014, that's for sure. But anyway, even if you left Shin at his full height, I still think -1 Godzilla has a huge shot at winning. And it really comes down to the fact that I'm not convinced that Shin can survive a point blank death, -1 death ray, like at all. But then you can argue Shin will be able to, he can detect, he has a sort of danger sense, right? He like can detect an enemy preparing to fire at him. And so he'll quickly, lash out and fire off his energy beams. And he does not stop until he runs out of energy. That's something both Shin and -1 have in common. So you might want to it could be, flip a coin who's going to get the first shot off. -1 Godzilla, clearly he could take several seconds to charge up. But then again, Shin's atomic charge time varies as well. Sometimes it took him longer than -1. Sometimes he was able to just fire his atomic beams a lot faster. So, like I said, rock, paper, scissors. Or flip a coin. Yeah, I said both of those things, in fact. But I would flip a coin. Who's gonna... And it really does come down to who shoots the other first. Because I don't think -1 would like Shin's atomic beam barrage. Then again, -1 was able to withstand an atomic bomb as it was just literally frying him alive, and he still was able to regenerate, more or less from that. But he also didn't seem to like conventional weapons that much. I don't think they left any visible injuries, but it clearly bothered him far more than most Godzillas have been. Most Godzillas are relatively unfazed by conventional weapons. Literally, they'll just wade right through a massive bombardment like it's nothing, whereas -1 looked at least temporarily stunned. Shin, I think, is, I would argue, more durable than -1. So again, flip a coin. Whoever shoots the other first wins. Tyranno Zilla mentioned, I'd say Legendary has a stronger atomic breath because he blew a hole to the center of the planet. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Granted, it really... Are we going to see Legendary Godzilla do that again? Are we going to see him charge up his atomic breath and do something just as impressive or weaker? I mean, we all have different methods when it comes to assessing power, right? I've talked about this many times. But yeah, I think Monsterverse Godzilla still has the, as far as live action Gojis go, the most powerful atomic breath feat. But -1 is just right up there anyway, so, it is what it is. I'd say minus Goji because Shin is pretty stiff. Yeah, well, for the most part, but that's kind of how the humans underestimated him. As soon as he went on the attack, or at least perceived that he was actually in danger, Shin moved surprisingly quickly. And stiff or not, I mean, the guy has superb aim, and his atomic beams are extremely lethal. Coop said, in G-Verse and Godzilla vs. Kong, I love the characters that were with Kong, but the characters dealing with Apex and stuff weren't that good, but Bernie was great. Yeah, I'd have to agree. And I say this as a fan of geez, I'm trying to remember her name now. She played 11 on Stranger Things. She was Madison on, you know, for the Monsterverse. Anyway, somebody I'm sure will help me out here. Please. I thought her character was great in Godzilla King of the Monsters, but I think they just kind of dropped the ball when it came to her character, the potential for her growth. And yeah, she and her buddy, not to knock any of the actors, of course, they did great with what they had, but yeah, their storyline, I can see why it looks like they're not coming back for Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, so it's probably for the best. Millie Bobby Brown, by the way, that's her name. That's the actress's name. So let's see. The only character I would say have his issues with is Ren, as he felt underutilized. Yeah, Ren Serizawa, most certainly one of the most underutilized characters, not only in the Monsterverse, but I would say in just the kaiju genre in general. It is an absolute bummer that you took the son that we never knew existed of arguably the human protagonist of the Monsterverse to a certain point, and not really give him much to do other than get electrocuted by the ghost of King Ghidorah. Which is a massive bummer. Alright, back to editing. I think I have some of my effects prepared here. Where's Godzilla now? I am right here. Okay. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh yeah, that looks pretty dope. I'll be back real quick. My dog needs me. Oh man, take your time. Always be there for your dog. Totally cool, man. Dogs are awesome and deserve our utmost attention. To go too far. Yeah, that's a bit too big. Do some trickery editing here. Summon some assets here to help me with this part. Oh, what am Okay, water break. Whew. What I'm doing right now, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm taking this burning effect because -1 hurt. Goji hurts himself when he shoots his death ray. His skin starts burning, so I took a similar kind of effect, and I'm just trying to see if I can get it to follow his movements a lot better. This effect is, well, this may not work, is what I mean to say. So I might have to like take more time, frame by frame, just making this stick a lot better, but we'll see. I thought it's worth a try just to see if this works, you know. Let's see. Are you gonna try and have the spines come up for when he charges up? Oh, absolutely. It's already happened. I showed that at the beginning, but I could show you again when we see if this effect, any of this works. But yeah, I already did that, Coop. I had his spines start individually sticking up, and yeah, it was pretty good. I like the desired effect. Seems to have worked out pretty good. However, I'm realizing I may have messed up on something. Okay, let me just get this kind of where I want it to be first, and then I will show you guys what's going on. I don't think we need this effect unless we want it to go similar to here. Okay, well, we'll come back to this in just a moment. All right, let me show you guys what I have again. I'm gonna add the fins do glow. By any chance, did you make the spikes light up like they do in all his other Godzilla movies? Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys right now what we got. Let me just take some other effects away and you can see what is going on. Just have to always, again, make sure you save your work, always. Even if it tells you, I'm doing it automatically. So right here, you see the switcheroo. I'm gonna play that again. Let's get the screen a little closer here. So each spine begins to go up, and then they glow, and then he fires his atomic breath. Let's watch that again. Some of you may have not have heard me say this at the beginning, or maybe you're just tuning in, but I have every intention of doing more Godzilla -1 stop motion projects in the future. So I'll be thinking more and more about how I can perfect this, because I'm not entirely, like, I'm not wowed, you know, by this. If you think it looks great, I'm glad. I mean, honestly, I might be a little too harsh on myself, but I like how this is turning out. But I do think I could come up with a more effective way of doing this. But for the time being, this is what we got. Here he is, still charging up. His atomic fins were lighting up as his atomic breath was, you know, being fired. As he's shooting a giant Oscar statue. He roars, he's awesome. Yay. Alright. I'm gonna get back to trying to get these burning glow effects working. Derek says, just want to say your work is fantastic and I am a true fan. Thank you for sure. Thank you for showing me how they light up. I very much appreciate your kind words, Derek. Thank you. That means a lot. And yeah, anytime. I'm glad that things are looking good. I'm hoping to have this ready by next Sunday. Or the Oscars, but you know, if it works out. If not, then, well, you know, there's at least another project coming, and it'll be out here soon enough. I think I'm almost finished. This is one of the last things that I think I'm going to be doing. There's no other VFX shots other than possibly, I have some ideas, but I don't know quite yet. But until then, I'm thinking I might be able to wrap things up here soon enough, in fact. I don't know if I want to do another one of these now. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Great. Now what I might want to do is add a little bit more maybe some scarring damage if I can. trying to see if I can find anything that I could make the skin look like it's been burnt. I remember having some effects that were like that. But it's been a while. There's so much. Alright, let's pre-compose these. Burnt skin. Oh, sorry, computer. Should have known you were trying. Right? Let's see if we can change the color a little bit on this glow. Big amount, What it really needs, I think, is like a smoke effect, like where we could tell Godzilla, like his flesh is burning, right? Let's see what I can find. Found something that can help with this. First, let's increase this time stretch. Some movie magic. Probably would be easier to use a particular effect and have smoke following it. At the same time, there's already a lot of smoke. This effect. I do want to add a couple more spark effects to when his wound, his flesh starts burning, because, you know, I'm mean like that. He needs to suffer. Do that, and then we'll go into super comp mode, and this poor computer will likely be running all night. let's see. Flesh sparks. Because why not? Excuse me. Wow. That's not bad. Alright. Let's get ready. Get everything out of here and find out if my computer can handle the stress. Something tells me this might be more than an all-nighter. This might render... Maybe it'll finish rendering right before the Oscars next week. Glow down on that sucker. Alright. Time to do some Godzilla awesomeness. Alright, don't get mad at me, computer. I'm doing my best here. Alright, team, or whatever you prefer to be called. I think we're almost about finished here. I'm gonna just tidy things up here, but it's gonna take forever to load because there's a lot of effects. But it's looking great. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you all next time.